how we order and manage and whatever our stock for I don't know how long. And when I see what our turnover is every single month, and I see what I've got to pay suppliers every single month, and the fact that we actually are not making profit, okay, and that's the reason why we've set those targets. We said that every single team must hit a target of 200,000 Rand, okay, in order for us to start turning this whole ship around. Okay, so I am not going to, and so when I started doing this training, I was going to do my normal thing. I was going to tell you where we're at. I was going to show you, and I've got the figures here. And then this morning, when I woke up, I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. Because that's doing what Duncan does all the time. He's giving you guys the information, but I don't know if it's being translated into action within the business. Okay, it's the same like someone who goes to study to university. They decide they want to be, I don't know, a doctor or whatever. So they go to lectures every day, and they have projects and assignments and everything that they have to do. But if they get to the end of the training and they can't practice as a doctor, then it's been a waste of their time. Am I right? Okay. So the whole point of us having gone down this road of training is to, number one, teach you guys to be entrepreneurs, okay, so that you have a business mindset, because we don't know what comes up in the future, and you want to equip yourself that you don't have to depend on anyone, not on UPP, not on anybody, that you can operate your own business, okay? So we're trying to empower people. That's one of the things in the vision of this business, is to empower people. And I realized that we can try as much as we want to empower people, but if you don't want to be empowered, if you want to come like to work every day and just do your thing and get your salary at the end of the month, now I can't change your mindset. Okay, but what I do need to make sure that I'm doing is taking care of this business. Because this business is what provides for every single person in this business. And at the end of the day, you know, Duncan and I have always said it's not our business. It belongs to everybody, because everybody earns an income from this business. Everyone feeds their family from this business. But I've also realized, and this is maybe a hard thing to say, but we've had people come and go from UPP, just like any company. You know, they will go and they'll work there, and then something else comes up and they'll leave and go overseas or do whatever they want to do or need to do. And at the end of the day, we're still here, okay? And people can come and go from Under Pressure Plumbing, but this is the business that ultimately is providing also for my family. So I need to make sure that this thing survives, okay? And at the beginning of the year, and I don't think people maybe took me seriously, or they just like think we stay here and we say these things and you know, it's just going to be same old, and at the end of the month we just get our salary again. And so this is maybe not a nice session, but you guys need to hear this. Okay, so at the beginning of the year, I said, I am not prepared to get to the end of 2019 and we exactly in the exact same situation financially as a business, which is not a good situation at the moment, that we were at the end of 2018. Okay, so you guys either are going to be a part of turning this thing around, or you're not. Okay, and I think I have been here once or twice after that where I've given the same message. And I cannot see that on a job by job level, that we are taking care of our business the way that we should. Okay, if we're making decisions that I don't know all the information, but I've overheard things like driving to House of Plumbing to go and get an element or whatever, when we should have stock. I mean, we've got our warehouse. I don't know how many times, for example, I've spoken about, if we look at maintenance plumbing, there are certain things, maintenance jobs that come up all the time. Those stock items should be on the bucky, and we should have stock here for the month, so that if your bucky is down to one element, you get it replenished from here. Okay, to drive to a supplier to get things that are everyday maintenance jobs or everyday kind of consumable items, Or even if we are driving to suppliers because, oops, we've forgotten when we've ordered our stuff for our projects, and now we need to go and drive to wherever the supplier is, leave our site and go and do those things, to me is criminal. Okay? It is throwing money away in this business that we actually don't have. I sent out an email, an internal email, to Anthony and Corin and Sean and the management team or whatever in this week that said that this month, because last month I paid salaries first, and then I had suppliers phoning me saying, when's my payment happening, when's my payment happening, and you know, like struggling and pushing to get the payments in. This month I am paying suppliers first, subbies, our debit orders will go off, and then salaries are going to get paid. Okay, so if salaries get paid late because the money has not come in from the jobs, because clients say it's not done yet, or this or whatever, or it hasn't been signed off because of workmanship, or they for whatever reason they pay late, then the company should not experience the brunt of that. Okay, because if it's due to our workmanship, your workmanship, or planning or whatever, then we speak about accountability in this business all the time and taking ownership, but I don't see those values coming through in people. Okay, and I'm speaking to every single person over here. Every single person has the capacity to make a huge difference, but predominantly I see us doing the same things that we did at the beginning of the year. Okay, and I will meet with every single person, because I'm not going to put each person on the spot over here, but I'll meet with every single one of you, and I'll say, this is what I expect from you, but this is what I'm experiencing. Okay, so this is what I want to know. You guys are going to give me information this morning. So if we all know what this business is about, can I take that off?
Just don't take the last line out.
No, I won't.
Change the date. Oh.
I'll change it, don't worry.
Just change the number.
You must have my handwriting. There are a couple of questions I want you guys to answer.
Can you put it more that side? So, sorry, can't see it.
Okay, because we all know our business, eh? We all
Yeah,
know.
we've been training for a year, so there's a big test now.
Okay, so we know
So
what our
normally at
business.
school you write tests.
We
but
know
if
what
you
this
don't write
business
anything
is
down,
about.
You're going to fail the test.
Okay, so I want to know from you guys what our turnover for UPP, and I'm just going to ask you for last month. Okay, what our turnover. Do you guys understand what turnover is? Yeah. Okay, the value of jobs that we invoiced, and I'm going to ask you for the end of May. You should actually know for every month and where we at as a business now to date, year to date.
Yeah.
But just to start off with, I'm going to say, you guys must tell me, and I'm not giving you the guys the answer. Okay, this is going to be a test. If you can't answer it now, before the end of the day, you're going to come and give me these answers, because I'm teaching you to now go and find the information. Because when we just give the information, it doesn't drive people to want to go and find information for themselves. Duncan told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I am starting up another business. Okay, it's still months away from being launched. But I come here every single day, then I go home, and I see to my family, supper, all of that kind of thing with the girls. And then when all of that is done, I work on my other business. Okay. So I am committed, and I want to speak to you guys about, because I need to take ownership of what happens in my family and our income and things like that. You must realize that as a family, and you guys should have had a massive square at the beginning of the year as well, when Duncan landed up in hospital. Because if we're all honest with ourselves, if Duncan is not here, if he had died, okay, because that was as close as we got. The doctors said they don't know how he is still here, okay, because of the toxins and the poison in his body from his burst appendix, and it had been in his system for 2 days. Normally, people would have been dead. And somehow God miraculously has decided that he's not done here yet, so he's here. But for me as a family and as part of this business, that was a massive, massive scare. Okay, because if he's not here, guys, and I think if you're all honest with yourself, then UPP is not going to exist. A lot of what we have built up and the relationships that we have with clients at the moment, and I know that you guys are trying to work on relationships, but we need to put a lot of emphasis on that. If he's not here, those things will die, and then everyone's out of a job. Okay, and that is why I'm looking at starting a business, because I need a different income source. Both of our incomes come from this business, and the reality is, if you ever go and you run your own business, and at the end of the month, you don't have sufficient funds to pay all the bills, do you know what happens? You don't get paid. As a business owner, you don't get paid. You pay everything else first, salaries, suppliers, and whatever. And I'm tired of struggling. I mean, we put our risk into this business. No one else puts their full risks into the business other than the business owner. And every single month, I have to struggle because everything else gets paid first, and then my family suffers. And that's not how it should be. Nobody goes into a business to struggle. Okay, so I'm done with that. So we need to start making changes now. Okay, because this is not going to keep happening. So you guys are going to find out what the turnover for the business, because we all part of UPP, was for May. Okay, if I ask any of you here now, can you tell me off the top of your head what our turnover is?
I can maybe not give you what we've done as in what we've invoiced for our plumbing, 270,000. I don't know if that's exact.
Is that
was
including,
for last month.
Is that on the total business, including IntelliServe, or just, because remember we are business.
Okay?
It's total, it was 277.
Okay. So now you've given the guys answer. I don't want you to give it out to me out loud, because I'm needing everyone to know this. Okay, I'm trying to get everyone to answer. So if I'm asking you a question, if I ask you to know, then after this, you can go and tell Duncan or myself, this is the answer, but keep it to yourself, because I want the rest of the team to go and find the information. Okay, so one of the things that my coach that is helping me to set up my business is, he said that, because he's holding my hand as well, just like you guys have received training twice a week and whatever, and you've been given all the information, he's been holding my hand, okay? But he said to me on Tuesday, because we have 8 o'clock sessions every Tuesday. Pardon? We have 8 o'clock sessions every Tuesday, training sessions. And he said, Mandy, in order for your business to be a success, you need to commit to mastery. He said, I'm going to show you the framework of what needs to be done. But the product that I am going to be creating, I need to find out as much about that and my competitors and how to be different and unique and what's going to sell and all of that. I've got to do my research. Okay, so I'm saying to you guys, if you want to make a success of your business, and your business is your team, and everything that you do every single month in this business, you need to commit to mastery. You need to want to know what is happening in your business. You need to go and find out from whoever you need to go and find out, how do I know that I'm going to achieve my target every month? How do I know how to measure what my costs are? How do I know how to do all these things so that I know that at the beginning of the month, I know that I'm going to make a profit at the end of the month? Okay, so you need to know those things. And Duncan standing here, or Tessa standing here, or I can get the world's best entrepreneur to stand here and train you and give you information. But if you do not take it on board, and if you do not apply it, and if you don't have the passion within yourself to go and find out for yourselves what it is you need to do to be exceptional at what you do, then it doesn't matter who you have up here, it's not going to make a difference. Okay, so that's the first question, the turnover for UPP for the month. The next one is your turnover for your team. Okay, so as a team, what was the value of jobs that got invoiced for the jobs you specifically did this month, your team specifically did? Okay. Do you guys know it? Again, answer in your head. So, John, what did your team invoice for the month? Dumi, your team invoice for the month. What did your team invoice for the month? Okay. So I need you guys to find that information out. Next, what do you think I'm going to ask you?
Stock purchases.
Costs.
Expenses.
Yeah. So, what were the costs? And to make it simple, there's a lot of costs in a business. I'm just asking you at this point in time, what was the cost to do that specific, your specific jobs? I'm not asking you to give me the cost for the total business, so all the other things that the business needs to pay for, rent, insurance, phones, all of those things. I'm just asking you to tell me what the costs are, firstly, for the company for the month, for stock, machine hire, casual labor, all of those kind of things. Okay, so cost for UPP. And then what were your costs for your team, for your own jobs? Because I need you guys to start understanding that in order to make a profit, and over here, it's not just stock, it's also your fuel, okay? And I want you to understand that in here as well is that if you should be on a site because you've planned your job and now you're working and now you're having to run around to suppliers and whatever, that time also has a cost attached to it. Okay, so you need to think about very carefully, go through your jobs and be honest with yourselves and say, did I execute this job in the best way possible? When I left here in the morning, did I know exactly what I was going to do? I had everything that I needed and we were as productive as possible in getting the job done in the shortest amount possible and with and in such a way that the quality of our work results in no comebacks.
Just remember that the mark of a great plumber is the one that doesn't have to go to the store at all.
Yeah.
So the mark of a great plumber is to be able to plan his job the day before and have all the equipment ready to go and do job. So if any of our plumbers, or even on a project, if you're going to the store to go and get material, that means you haven't planned your job properly, that means you haven't, then you're actually not a great plumber. So you've got to look at yourself and say, am I going to the store every 5 minutes? If I am, I'm not a great plumber. Where do I need to be? If 100% is a great plumber, then you need to know how to work up the ladder. And if you are sending people to the store and you're the stock controller, then you've got to ask yourself, am I a great stock controller because I keep sending my guys? And the same thing for dispatch. If I keep sending them to the wrong address, or I keep sending them to the wrong area and then back to another area when I could be doing things strategically in that area, then I must ask myself, am I a great dispatcher? And if those questions are negative in your life, then you must start changing.
I mean, if I just ask you guys the question now, and I want every single person to answer this, okay? Can you improve the way you are doing your job right now? Is there more that you can do? Think of the word ownership, okay? So first, if I talk about stock, have you taken ownership of stock? And by that I mean, so yeah, I'm going to talk about positions now, okay? So forget about people. If I'm a stock controller in a business and I'm controlling stock, I need to make sure that, and this is where I think our business breaks down, because everyone looks at each other and says this is their job, they should be doing this and things like that. But I'm saying, if I'm responsible for stock, I'm not worrying about your bad planning and things like that, okay? I'm not going to let you affect that if anyone comes in here and says, let me see the stock situation of your business in terms of stock control, stock being ordered effectively, best prices, on time, all of that kind of thing, I will not let anyone in the business affect my role. Because when people look at me, they're going to say, shit, okay? This person over here has got the best stock department in spite of maybe orders coming in late or not being ordered properly or whatever. It's so efficient because that person has taken ownership of it. Karen, on dispatch, okay? You need to know and you need to find out so that when a call comes in and the client says, I've got no hot water, and you've asked them the necessary questions, and your mind is saying it's element thermostat, you need to know that there is an element thermostat on your maintenance guy's bucky. Okay, because you're taking ownership, because you want to know that when this dispatch happens, that the person you're sending to the job, you can give the client the price straight away. It doesn't have to be signed off. You do your homework, and you commit to mastery for that position to make sure that your job is being run effectively as possible. On the ops side, on projects, okay, are we prepared before the guys go to site? Do we know what material is required? Has it been ordered? Have you communicated to the teams exactly what needs to be done? Is it being done efficiently, etc., so that we make profit on every single job? Have we costed, have we quoted the jobs correctly? And if you're not sure how to quote, then go and find out. Okay. I have told people so many times that I'm over there. If you want to find out anything about how the finances operate in the business, come and set up a time with me and I will teach you. Hasn't happened, guys? Okay? So it tells me that we are just running, and we are not doing what we need to do in our personal capacity to be the best at what we are doing. We are not taking ownership that this is my role. We are not taking accountability that this is what I've got to produce. And I can tell you now, and this is what has upset me, is that when I have to pay things at the end of the month, and I see invoices from suppliers, we are buying one thermostat there or consumables here and whatever the case might be, because that's how orders are coming in, then it's telling me that people have not committed to doing their jobs as effectively as possible. Okay, we are wasting fuel. Do you know what our fuel bill sits on every single month, approximately? We've got 4 teams driving around. But a lot of the times, you guys are going to a site during the day. It's not like there's a lot of driving around except for maybe on maintenance. And the buckies that we have now, okay, are fuel efficient. Okay.
What's the fuel? What is it?
They sit on about 28 to 30,000 rand a month.
30,000 rand a month for 3 buckies. That's 10,000 rand each.
So, well, you've got it's 4 buckies because Sean also drives.
Okay, so
okay.
we change
but I mean, but I'm just saying,
I need it to be under 10.
Nobody cares about the fuel bill. You just get in your bucket and you're going to drive. Okay, and then you're going to say, I need to now go, Percy, I don't have this. A purchase order goes through, guys go off.
So cost management and ops teams, can they prepare a daily sheet that shows your purchases and your spends? Because if I monitor it daily, I'm going to know that, hey, flip, you're sitting on 3 tanks of petrol this week. Why? Because your turnover should be saying that in your target. So that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to ask you, you're going the opposite way now. You're going to pay suppliers and all that first, eh? All right, because you know what you must do is split it into department and see. Because if invoices are not going out and petrol's been lost, and then leave that till last. Yeah. And then you'll see what's going to happen. And then you know what, you'll squeeze out. And eventually you're going to get to a point where if it's not right, then it's going to wait, and it's going to lag, and it's going to lag, and it's going to lag. So, guys, seriously, think about it. Next week is payday, eh? I don't see any books here. I don't see anybody writing anything down. The test is coming, and it's at the end of the month. When you're at school or you're at university, you walk in with your books and you write down stuff, and then there's a test, and there's a test every
You see this book here? When I sit with my coach, so he's not here in South Africa, it's like a video session every Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the evening, okay? I sit with my books, and he gives me homework to do, and I've got to do that, and the homework that he gives me is like going to research. I've got to go and do hard work. I've got to put in effort, because he knows that if I'm not putting in the effort, then my business is not going to succeed. Okay, it's going to be as successful as the amount of effort I put into it.
Show them the test next week. I want to see the test, and I want to see all the smiling faces next week, because it's going to come very hard, and we've warned you about it now, but I want to see the smiling faces next week. And let me tell you something, guys, if the morale of this company drops next week, I know why it drops, because it's all about you. But if it's lifted up next week, then I know you're there for the company. So I want to see the next week. I want to see how the morale changes. And that's going to be the indication of how this business and where we're at. And the first person that comes to Mandy and asks about their salary, that's the person I want to get rid of first. Honestly,
Duncan?
that's the person.
Sorry,
I'm
I've
thinking of.
got 5 minutes
Yeah.
left. Okay. So I just want to so these are the 4 big things. Okay. What I am going to do, and this was thank you, Sean, for the suggestion, because I think this is the only way you guys are going to finally truly understand what it is to run your businesses effectively. Because when I look at you and your team, that's a business that I see. Okay, you've got a business. John, you've got a business with your team. Dumi, you've got a business with your team. Sean, Ant, Karen, Percy, you've got businesses in terms of stock and marketing and sales and getting jobs to clients and invoicing and all of those type of things. When we invoice a job, do we know that as you press that button to finalize an invoice, if you've made profit or loss on that job, or are we just doing things? Okay, I want that mentality of just doing something to finish, to end. You need to understand what it is that you are doing. You need to understand that when I send a guy out here in the morning, by the end of the day, this is what I'm going to invoice for that day. Okay? When I say invoice for the day, you might not be creating a physical invoice because it could be a project, but what I'm saying is on that quote, that job that he is following, he's going to be doing these 4 line items. That was the instruction for today. And on the quote, the total value of those 4 line items is 10,000 Rand. If I look at the costs and the material and everything like that to do that, the job, the cost of the material and petrol and all of that kind of thing for the day is 6,000 Rand, and we make it a profit of 4,000 Rand. You need to know that. Okay? And if you don't know that, and you don't know how to know that, then you need to find out. And I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to come here and say this is how profits work and finance works and all of that kind of thing, because I'm realizing that if I give information, everyone just sits there. I don't know if you're understanding it or not. If you want to know the information, you know where to come and find it. Okay.
It's a self-motivation attitude is one of our bad.
I can't motivate you guys anymore. You need to start motivating yourselves now, and I need to see that motivation in you. So there are a couple of other things that I was going to ask you, but I think let's start off with this. And I want you guys to, in your individual capacities, by the end of today, send me a WhatsApp or send it to myself or Duncan. Don't put it on the group because then everyone's got the answer and you've done the work. Okay, so send it to us individually so that I know that you have made an effort to find something, find out information. What I'm going to do from the beginning of July, and in next week we're going to train you guys how to do this, is how to run your own businesses. So yes, so you're still employed by UPP and maybe you get your salary at the end of July or whatever it is, but alongside that, okay, we are going to monitor each person as if they were running their own business. So in next week I'm going to show you as a team what your costs are. If you are running your business, what your fuel is, what your labor costs are, what your material costs are, what your phone costs are, all of those kind of things, because every single month, if you're a business, you know that you need to make that amount of money because you've got those fixed costs that you need to pay at the end of the month. Okay, then you're going to get your jobs and you're going to say, is the value of my jobs going to cover my costs that I've got at the end of the month? And I need to make X amount of profit. So this is the turnover that I need to produce. And then you're going to monitor yourself. I am going to ask you to give me feedback on a weekly basis. Okay? And you need to figure out how you're going to do that. I want you to find out how you're going to do that, how you need to monitor it. Okay? Because if I just give you the structure, you're not going to go and learn. Okay, so if you need to come and find out from me, or whoever you need to find out from Anthea, go and Google it, I don't know, you need to find out. First, on the stock side, okay, because I'm getting everyone involved here, everyone's running their own business. Percy, you've got a shop where you're going to be the supplier to these guys, but you need to pay wherever you're getting the stock from, okay? So you need to push them as well. You need to find out what jobs are coming in and is it going to cover and when are those payments going to happen, because I need to pay my suppliers at the end of the month. Okay, Percy, Sean, Ants, Karen, on a target side, a high level target side, okay, from the business perspective, I'm expecting you guys to understand what the total costs are for the business and what it is we need to achieve as a business from a turnover point of view, and how we're going to manage the costs so that we end off in the next month with a profit. Okay. So that's the task I'm giving every single person to do. You all have work to do. You all have to go and find that information, and we all need to make this business work. Okay. And I know you guys can do it. You might not believe in yourselves, but I know that you can do it. You just need to dig deep, guys, and bring it out of yourselves.